All right, good evening, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Ben Jones here. Let's see, let's do a little hello. Hello, how are you? I hope everybody's having a good night. We're just doing a little talking about Tropical Storm Debby, rainmaker and a wind machine, if you want to call it that, for our mainly eastern and southeastern counties. So a big chunk of our area not really being affected by this, but the farther east you are, like this Dublin sky cam we have right here, these are the places already seeing rain, and we'll continue with this as we go on through tonight and a good chunk of tomorrow. So let's see here. Now this is as of 9 o'clock here on August 5th. This is running. So if you're watching this at a later time, if that's possible, this is from 9 o'clock on Monday, August 5th. All right, so we're talking about Debby. Let's get involved here. Let's take a look at, we've already seen the Dublin sky cam tonight. Maybe a little bit of rain or breeze, definitely the farther south and east you go. I have a lightning bolt on there, and we haven't really seen much in the way of thunder, though, or lightning and hearing thunder. There's a look at the weather impact alert, the thing we just rolled out a few weeks ago. It's a new thing we're doing where it's not a hype thing or anything like that. It's more of saying, hey, look, this is a day or two that we're looking at that kind of stands out from the rest, and this is one of those that you want to kind of pay attention to. Now, this is for tonight and tomorrow in the wind column. You can see there impact, possible flash flooding, and some gusty winds. Again, mainly in our eastern and southeastern counties, and that's what you need to know. The farther east and southeast you live, this is who we're talking to. Drive carefully if you have to be out in this stuff. Tomorrow we'll repeat it with the breezy stuff, and again the higher wind gusts and the rain potential is going to be the farther south and east you go again. And you can see it on the flood watch here. Notice the counties in green. This is where we've already had a lot of rain and we continue to pile it on, and so that's just going to make matters worse in some low-lying areas. You can see the latest track. It continues into Georgia and now making a hard turn toward the east here, toward kind of the Brunswick, St. Simons area, eventually to make its way slowly on farther toward the northeast as we go through tonight and tomorrow. So there is a look at the radar shot. Again, this is as of 9 o'clock on Monday night. And you can see that the yellow shaded area is going to be your steadier rain. I showed you that on the Dublin Skycam earlier. This has been fluctuating some. We have seen patches in our southeastern counties a little steadier than that yellow, but you'll just kind of see that, kind of wax and wane as we go on through tonight. A few sprinkles in the Macon area now on the outside edge of all this. Well, that's about as far west as I've seen it go so far, other than a few showers earlier today in some of our northwestern counties that weren't really associated with the main batch. The main batch, of course, is all this. As you can see, from Dublin down to McRae, Alamo, and Soperton. And again, some gaps in there where a little bit of a break. But you can see those green polygons that are on the map. All these are flash flood warnings. And we do have one for Wheeler County in our area. And we might see more of these. You can tell this is definitely as you go from kind of Wheeler, Montgomery on over to Savannah and up and down 95 through here. Already a lot of flash flood warnings, and this is going to be a huge rainfall total event for a lot of these areas. Okay, so let's get in to, let me check something over here for a second. All right, okay. All right, so here's a look at the storm outlook. Again, we talk about the dirty side of the storm versus the clean side of the storm. So let's say, this is kind of the storm. Generally, you're going to have on this side, this is where your outer bands are going to feed in that are going to have possible spin-up tornadoes and all that. As you go onto the other side, not seeing so much of that, or any, really. So what we'd say is we're on the clean side of the storm, so we're not looking for a severe threat with this. This is all up the coast here, going from coastal Georgia to coastal South Carolina. Let's take a look at future view, and a new one will be coming out in the 10 o'clock hour tonight, but this is the one we have so far. And notice as we go through the overnight tonight, same kind of thing. You can see the motion here with the center of circulation kind of on 95, maybe nearing Savannah as we head toward tomorrow morning. Again, most of your big, heavy rain bands with any sort of severe weather are going to be on this side. We're on kind of the light but steady rain. And again, notice it's still east and southeastern counties. Going into tomorrow lunchtime, same kind of thing. Still just kind of grazing by our area. Notice this thing is still not moving a whole lot. This takes us into tomorrow afternoon, evening, Tuesday, 6, 7 o'clock. Again, the next model run could show something different. It could have it jogging a little bit farther west or farther east. but this is what we have so far. And notice this area through here, southeast Georgia, east central Georgia into South Carolina, some big rainfall totals here. Now at this point, the storm is kind of offshore, bottom right of your screen. You can see the center out here. By the time we get into Tuesday night, it's probably quiet. We get into Wednesday, and Wednesday's looking dry. Now, that could be the end of it right there. That could be all that we see of this, and then it floats on up slowly through the Carolinas and eventually leaves. But this model, along with the GFS model you'll see in a second, still want to kind of let this thing start to curve back our way as we head into Thursday. So we'll see if that's on the next model run, but you can see it starts to bring rain back to some of the same spots, and just, you're talking multiple days at this point, still sitting in this same area. All right, now this is a look at the GFS and the Euro. So what this is the blue blob. This is the European model, and this is really the National Hurricane Center looks to be following this one. It's not really, if their actual track for Debby does not have it coming back over here. But I'm going to show you the difference. All right, so you can see this kind of marks by Thursday. Euro thinks it's kind of out here. GFS says it's still around here. Let's go forward and notice how there's a difference there as well. Euro's taking it up through the Carolinas, which is where the actual National Hurricane Center track is taking it. So in other words, if this is right, we're done with this Tuesday night. If the GFS here is right, we get another round of it coming back in Thursday and hanging around into Friday as the thing diminishes and eventually falls apart. So we'll have to see which one comes true, and another model run or two as we go through tonight and tomorrow will tell us a lot. See if I can get this to back up a little bit here. This is the latest rainfall projections starting from now. Now we've already piled up a few inches of rain in some of our eastern and southeastern counties, but what this is saying is just outside of our area, maybe parts of Washington, Johnson, Trutland counties, parts of Wheeler, really just right there where there's kind of the haves and the have-nots here. There's a big drop-off, but you're looking at some big rainfall totals. That only takes us into Thursday, middle of the day, afternoon. Those numbers will continue to go up for the rest of the week. There's a look at some of the current winds. Again, this is Monday night, the 9 o'clock hour on August 5th, 2024. If you're seeing this at another time, just know that that's what this current data is from. And you can see the wind speeds. The little white number is going to be your winds. This kind of sustained and occasional wind gust will show up here in the yellow, the bigger numbers. So not the most impressive winds, but there's kind of gusty out there. You can see the temperatures, a lot of 70s on the board. And as we take a look at the future view, it'll show that we kind of hover with these 70s overnight. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to say upper 80s, but obviously once you start getting away from the storm, especially if some clouds are breaking out here, you may see 90 plus. We go into Wednesday morning with 70s, and then if the storm, I mean, you talk about just jumping to a whole nother story again. If the storm's out here, well, then there's nothing to kind of shade us out here. So here we are back in the extreme heat for Wednesday afternoon. And then we get into Thursday morning, and then Thursday. All of this is iffy right here because this is the same model that has the thing leaning back in our way. If it goes the way the Euro is saying up through the Carolinas, we're done with it, and we're in the big 90s again as we go into Thursday. So we'll figure that out as we get closer. Here's a look at the wind as we go through tonight into tomorrow. Notice most of it, obviously, the farther south and east you go, 30, 40 mile per hour winds. We'll see if we get a wind gust tomorrow afternoon, 40, 45 to 50. Extreme southeastern counties. Otherwise, the rest of us just a nice breeze, really. Most of our area is not going to be affected nearly at all by this. There's a look at Tuesday afternoon. Notice as we go into Tuesday night, most of it is into the Carolinas and really just sitting there in the same spots over and over again. This takes us now into Wednesday night, where you can see the wind obviously farther away from us there. All right, so let's see. As far as the overall takeaway, we have another weather impact alert day tomorrow. That just means parts of our area will be impacted by something that's not a normal kind of day for us, and I think a tropical storm would constitute that. So again, if you're in our eastern, southeastern counties, we have that going tomorrow, and then we'll have to just piece it together after that, see what the models, if they can come to a better agreement. Right now we know Wednesday's looking mainly dry and hot, and it may stay that way, dry and hot as we go Thursday, Friday. That's kind of written in pencil, those are rain percentages right there. If it does curve back this way, then we'll have rain potential. If not, then we're done with it and we're back to the summertime thing. All right, thanks for watching our stream right here. We'll continue to have updates on air, online, all over the place. And just if you're in our southeastern counties, take it slow if you have to be out there. This rain's going to hang around for a while.